Cosmic Girl 101 signing on for the Libra Rising March 2024 astrology video. The topics this month we're going to be talking about Libra Rising is the Sun, the moons, and our personal planets being Venus, Mars, and Mercury. As we open up the month of March, let's discuss the Sun. Well, it's been transiting your sixth house and continues to do so. So those sixth house topics have been lit up for you and will do for a few more weeks to come before that Sun ingresses on the 19th of March into your seventh house of relationships, other people, contracts and agreements, and negotiation. So the Sun in the sixth is a lots of energy and vitality going towards other people outside of yourself. So a lot more attention and a lot more vitality has been going on regarding your day-to-day routines, your work, your colleagues, your pets, and your sense of service to others. It's almost as if all the energy is pulled outward from you and you're expending a lot of your time regarding those six house topics. On the 19th of March 2024, we see that Sun ingressing into the sign of Aries for 4 weeks, and this is your seventh house. So your attention, vitality, and energy is redirected now to those other people as it has been in the sixth house as well. So when you have your attention drawn to other people and the seventh house of relationships and partnerships, so your partner or relationships in general is quite significant. There's a lot of action going on and a lot of energy. And this is also on the 19th, the beginning of the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, and for the southern it is the autumn equinox. It's also the start of the astrological year, and it is the Sun's exaltation place in Aries. An exaltated Sun means it can be very organic in what it does. It just seems like it's in flow with its own energy in the sign of Aries. So for you in your seventh house, relationships are passionate and there's a lot of energy here, and things usually track along quite nicely in the seventh house, being your sign of relationships being Aries. So Libra Rising, you'll notice here that your partner could be going through some really big changes, or agreements and contracts are highlighted here. So if there's something that you'd like to discuss regarding a relationship and a contract, wouldn't be surprised if this is on your front page of things to do or things to discuss. The Sun transiting your seventh house is a time of looking again at other people instead of yourself, or how other people affect you head on regarding your image, your body. So think of it as like saying I'm getting married or engaged. It's going to change your identity and your image, and you're merging with other people. So merging, connecting with others is highlighted here for the next 4 weeks from the 19th onward for you, Libra Rising. Now on to the lunations for the month of March 2024. Now for everyone, this month is quite significant because there's an eclipse occurring, and we're going to be going deeper into what this means for you as a Libra Rising. Well, on the 10th of March, we've got a new moon occurring in your sixth house of work, pets, service to other people, work colleagues, employees, and your daily routines, what you do on a day-to-day basis. You get up, you have a shower, you brush your teeth, blah, blah, blah. This is your daily grind. Something new is starting here for you. And because it's a moon beginning, it's something that is behind the scenes, it's planted. So it could be a new contract in work. It could be a new beginning in work. It could be something going on with your pets. Something that you do day to day is changing. You're beginning something new. So it's not on the surface. But what begins now on this day blooms or busts come the full moon in Pisces on September 17, 2024, because it's a full moon lunar eclipse on that day in the sign of Pisces, which is on the 10th, the new moon. So what you begin comes to fruition or could be phased out. On the 25th, we see the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, which is your first house of identity, how people see you and recognize and connect with you because of what you are projecting out there and how you come across to other people. So when you have a full moon lunar eclipse, you might be clandestine or possibly doing things a little bit more behind the scenes. You could not be available as much for other people as they may want you to be, or something quite significant is changing regarding you and other people. So because it's an eclipse, let's be really transparent here, eclipses can be abrupt. Something that is overshadowing your personal energy or your personal identity. So just be aware that day may be tricky for you as a Libra rising. Now, the South Node is also transiting in your sign, your first house. And the South Node is about things that are familiar to us, things that people recognize you for, something that you're known for. And with the South Node here, you could be trying to change something about your identity or your physical appearance here. But the 25th is important for all of us, but for you quite significantly because it is your first house of personal identity. So I wouldn't be surprised if something acute is occurring for you that affects your identity or physical body, or how people are receiving or connecting with you. You just may not be present, or you may be surprising people with your character. So now on to the personal planets. When I do my astrological reports for signs each month, I concentrate on the personal planets because they're closer to the planet. They move a lot more than the outer planets, which are slower. So they're going to affect us quite significantly and other people around us and our environments. Now, Mars is your 7th house and 2nd house ruler. What that means is that Mars really does have a lot to do with your relationships and also your finances and sense of well-being, self-worth, self-value, and your assets. Mars opening up the month of March is transiting in your 5th house and has been since the 13th of February. So Mars in the 5th could have you very passionately enjoying a lot of great times with a partner or a romance. Could be really fired up about an investment. Also can probably have a lot to do with children or the discussion of children in the future. And also to do with your creative projects and things that give you a sense of pleasure and joy. So this continues opening up the month. Mars is quite quiet this month. On the 9th, that Mars is squaring Uranus and Taurus. 5th and 8th houses are lit up here. Your house of pleasure and other people and other people's assets or assets that impact you. Now remember that Mars rules your 7th and 2nd house. So this could be a partner that is possibly having a tricky day on the 9th, or something going on that's affecting your finances and your sense of pleasure. And contracts and negotiations are highlighted here on this day. So you might be in a bit of a contention on this day, or feeling fiery or quite rambunctious on this day, or so could a partner, to be fair. On the 22nd, we've seen that Mars leaving the 5th house and ingressing into the sign of Pisces, your 6th house, until April 30. Now, Mars is in detriment here, so Mars basically gets sort of lost in the juice and isn't quite as fiery or optimistic as it normally would be regarding taking risks and stepping forward and being quite energetic. So Mars in detriment in your 6th house could see you having maybe a bit of a time of contention with your work or colleagues. It could feel as if you just don't have the vitality on a day-to-day basis with this transit. You could just be feeling a lot more quieter or not as engaged in your work or engaged in what you do day to day. Could be a loss of pets as well, to be fair, with that Mars in detriment in your 6th house of pets. Could have pets transitioning. But Mars in detriment in your sixth house until April 30, 2024. You know, you're on notice here that things may not be so productive regarding your everyday grind and your work. So now on to personal planet Venus. Now Venus is your ruler, and Venus, well, she rules your first house and also your eighth house. Now she's been transiting in Aquarius, your fifth house, and continues to do so, opening up the month of March. Venus in the fifth, enjoying games, gambling, investment, pleasure, joy, sex with a partner, children, creative activities, just really enjoying yourself. And on the 3rd of March, we see Venus squaring Uranus and Taurus. So 5th and 8th house here. And remember that 8th house rules Venus, your ruling sign Venus rules also your 8th house. So when you've got a square here on the 3rd of March, there could be a surprising financial shock regarding other people's finances, partners' finances, or an investment that could be come across your table that is unexpected, or an expense. Also highlighted here on the 3rd. On the 11th, we see Venus leaving the 5th house and ingressing into the sign of Pisces, which is Venus's exaltation sign. And this happens to be your 6th house until the 5th of April. So friendships and relationships regarding your workplace and co-workers. So you could have friendships developing. It could be a lot of finances being poured into fitness regimes or wanting to start something athletic for yourself. So if you want to get into shape, this is a great transit. This also could see you bringing in another pet as well. And also, because this is the house of service to other people, remember the 6 is energy going outside. So with Venus here, could just see you bringing in more work from outside, more clients, etc. So I would expect an escalation in activity for you when you've got Venus ingressing into your 6th house until the 5th of April. On the 21st of March, we see Venus conjuncting Saturn in Pisces, your 6th house. A Venus-Saturn conjunction is like a wise investment or a mature friend or a mature, like a maturation of an investment that you've been invested in for a long time. That's the sense that I get regarding this conjunction, that, you know, a long-time friend or a long-time work colleague is significant on this day. Or just finances or something Venusian going on in your workplace, or something going on with pets, spending money on pets, or also could be saying goodbye to some pets in your environment. On the 24th, we see Venus sextiling Jupiter and Taurus. So this is the 6th and 8th houses lit up here. So we like to see the benefics, which are Venus and Jupiter, in a sextile aspect, which is Venusian, and Venus rules your sign and rules that 8th house and 1st house. So when we've got this sextile with Jupiter in Taurus to Pisces, this looks really good for a partner having a really big breakthrough regarding work and their finances. You could also see an investment or an asset flourish or come into fruition regarding work or a contract with work. It could also just be a day where you are feeling particularly optimistic about work and what you invest in that's going to be, you know, fortuitous for you in the future. On the 28th, we see Venus sextiling Uranus and Taurus, so the 6th and 8th house lit up again. This could be a surprising revelation regarding something to do with your partner, regarding work, that is auspicious, or something to do with you that you're doing personally on a daily basis. It seems like it's really going to improve a connection with someone that is like an investment or investing in something that is going to be quite beneficial for you. But it's a sudden It's a sudden pleasurable day. It's like a day that you thought was going to be normal, but then your partner comes in and goes, guess what? Or you actually have something quite positive happen in your work day or at work that really impacts you long term, that's beneficial. So again, there's a lot of benefits and a lot of auspicious, quite good luck occurring here from the 24th of March moving forward for you, Libra rising. So now on to our personal planet Mercury. Now Mercury rules your 9th house and your 12th house. Mercury, opening up the month of March, is transiting in Pisces and has been and continues so until the 9th. Now, Mercury is in detriment here, and quite simply that means that being motivated and communication might be offline or just not as active, and free-flowing energy or movement seems to be tricky in this transit. So if you feel like work or doing something day to day has been a bit of a, I'm lacking energy, I don't have the drive, I don't feel like I'm concentrating enough, just give yourself a break. Mercury in Pisces for everyone is difficult. On the 4th, Mercury is sextiling Uranus and Taurus, so your 6th and 8th house it up here. Now, Mercury in a sextile to Uranus is like the communication that comes through that's impacting your finances and assets or a partner's that is surprising, but all the details may not be there. So it's almost like all the glitters is not gold. Check the finer print on this day. On the 8th, we see Mercury conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, your 6th house. So a conjunction here could be a great idea that's creative, that seems like it's got a lot of potential for the future, but Mercury in Pisces being in detriment, again, all that glitters is not gold. Check the finer details on this day if you are beginning something in regards to work or there's negotiation and talk with contracts. On the 9th, we see Mercury leaving Pisces and ingressing into the sign of Aries, your 7th house, until May 15. This is a longer transit for Mercury, quite simply because it has a retrograde. Now, Mercury in the 7th sees an escalation of paperwork regarding contracts and agreements, a partnership or a relationship. There's an escalation in communication or collaboration here when Mercury is in your 7th house. On the 10th, we see Mercury sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. So from your 5th house to your 7th house looks great for investments. So if you've got anything to do with investments or something you've been doing with a partner, it seems like this is a great day for things coming together regarding negotiations with contracts and finances, or a partnership. It seems to be coming back online if you felt like things have been tricky, especially communication or just getting things, details down on paper or details set in stone, or at least details being present and more available, or even our voices and our minds are now back online together. And this is great for things being a lot more in flow and organic between you and other people regarding pleasure. And again, investments and commerce is highlighted here for you, a Libra rising. Cosmic Girl 101 signing off. I hope you enjoyed your video for the month of March, Libra rising, and I will see you in the next video.